Buying and selling prices are now live at foottrading.co.uk. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed so far, and thank you for all the positive feedback. We worked very hard on it over the summer. I'm glad to see you guys are enjoying the additions, changes, everything that we have done. But what do you get for your money? £10 a month gets you access to Tier 1. That gets you access to low budget fodder prices and prices for trading with chem styles, including shadows, hunters and anchors. That's players who have chem styles attached to them. Tier 2 gets you access to our fluctuations area that actively tracks the markets, giving you guys the exact buy price, the exact sell price. The whole website is updated for 24 hours. Every single moment of every single day, the website is updated to give you guys the most accurate prices possible. But if you can't afford to subscribe, that's completely fine. If you create an account, there are free trading guides that teach you guys how to work with the market, how to trade. Already got people making hundreds of thousands of coins in their first few days of the game. So check out foottrading.co.uk. But for now, let's get into the video. Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a new video with me, Fuzzball40. As always, if you're new around here, subscribe down below and make sure your notifications are turned on so you never miss an upload. The website is now live, like the intro says. All the buying and selling prices are on there with loads more to be added, specials, icons. We've done very well in the formulas this year. There'll be video guides all over the website so you can basically work with what you want to work with. Check it out. For anything that I trade with in these videos is on the website, and I promise you it's better value than any amount of FIFA points that you could ever spend. But from my side, I just want to say thank you for the incredible support on the videos. They're here basically to help those of you that don't want to pay for the site, which is understandable, or that can't afford to. Hopefully they're helping you guys to make coins, and I'm extremely thankful for the nearly 2,000 of you guys that have chosen to subscribe recently. It does mean the world to me, and you'll never understand just how thankful I am to be able to do this as my job every day. But this video is all about the investments I'm looking at for tonight. I'm basing it on looking at what happened last year and what you need to be looking out for yourselves when it comes to buying. The reason why I talk about investing tonight, it's tonight, tomorrow technically, is because we're getting something quite unique in that everyone that got the Ultimate Edition is about to get 4,600 FIFA points. And that is a lot of cards coming onto the market at once. Everyone's basically going to be opening packs, and that means we're going to get a ridiculous amount of supply. The markets at the moment are quite static. It's quite hard to sell stuff at times. It's not that it's impossible. If you buy the right price and sell at the right price, I'm doing chemistry style trading. It's working very well. But the market's quite stagnant because there's no real movement. I think everyone is waiting for these points. What will happen with these points is that all these cards are going to get spammed onto the market relatively quickly. And for my betting, the market's going to drop quite considerably. It's going to get hit quite heavy in a way we're not used to seeing. And then from there, the market should only be up as people start to buy their teams and improve them. And let's have a little look at what happened last year. I don't think we can take too much from last year. But if we have a little look at last year, and then I'll show you guys how to go and look yourself for players that might be good this year. So we'll start off with like Kevin De Bruyne, for example. Very meta cam from last year. If you have a little look at him, he initially quite low, and then he sort of stagnated for the first sort of couple of weeks. He dropped a little bit here, as you can see, near in and around like full game release, and then climbed quite nicely up to sort of 3.35. So decent bit of profit in him if you bought into him, but is it masses? Not really. N'Golo Kante, probably the most meta CDM. Again, a very stable price on him. At his low points here, sort of 293, 279. Gets up as high as like 342 later on in towards the end of sort of October, November. Before then steadily dropping as you'd expect cards to do the longer the game goes on. Raheem Sterling, again, pretty static price. Nothing like incredible, then starts to drop off. Riyad Mahrez, again, quite static at the beginning, then drops off quite quickly. Big anomaly here in Marcus Rashford, a card that was very, very usable. Fit sort of a meta, 5-star belief. Is he 5-star skills, 4-star weak foot? Sort of in and around the 150 mark before steadily climbing up to sort of 204. No, 224, but yeah. 224 on Xbox, 287 on PlayStation. He literally fit the meta so well last year. Skill moves were massive, very, very fast, perfect. And I'd expect very similar this year. Alan starts off down here and gets very, very high. This card was really slept on at the beginning, in my opinion. And this is where value for money really was, because a few days after release, getting down as low as what? 68, even lower than that, I think, if I can get my mouse onto it. There we are, 67. Before really spiking up to 88 on Xbox, 89 on Xbox, 97 PlayStation. This card was massively sought after for the first weekend league or so, but then plummeted. Absolutely decimated by its price. So there's sort of the higher end stuff. Now, the problem with looking at last year and this year is last year we did not see that sort of FIFA points spammed by everyone. Now, some people will argue that, okay, cool, when the game first comes out, people load up FIFA points and the market gets hit. But we're talking absolutely everyone that bought the Ultimate Edition being guaranteed to open 4,600 points. That is a massive amount of points that are going to come onto the market, a huge amount of points. We've not seen that before in terms of a set everyone, because normally what happens is with the Ultimate Edition, you get 2 15k packs a week or whatever for the first 10 weeks. That's not what's happening here. It's not a gradual supply. It's a massive supply very, very quickly. And that is where my buy-in's going to be tonight and tomorrow, is where I'm going to look at the market and look at what happens to it and buy in. Now, I want to show you some lower end stuff. Rafinha, for example, from Leeds, relatively sought after card this year. If you look at him, just absolutely hammered very, very quickly. He didn't really hold a price for very, very long at all. If we look at Fred, again, he was very much in the Alan ilk. Climb, and then drop really quickly. It's very similar to Alan. This card was really usable at the beginning of the game. I used him in my starter team because I packed him untradeable. So I had him in around my team and my bench. And then the one that everyone loves to talk about, Alan Saint-Maximin. Again, low, absolutely sort of rises very, very quickly. So starts with a low here of like 48k, gets as high as 65k, which isn't bad at all, before quite a quick drop over the course of that month to get down to low as 25. It's a big, big drop. So when we're looking at this year, what are we looking for? And simplistically, you want to go to like something like the Premier League, for example, and you want to see what's available in that league in different positions. So once it loads up, because for some reason foot was just quite slow this morning. But Premier League here, for example, and we're looking at that now. We know there's going to be ones to watch cards and that sort of stuff. But what I tend to do is go, let me just click on positions and go left wingers. What have we got available to us this year? And what are the prices looking like? Now, I've heard a lot about Raheem Sterling being very good, but I'm looking at this right now. 55k on that card. Is there much demand for him at the moment? Not really. If you look at that, he's 55k for an 88 rated card. When you've got someone like a Marcus Rashford who's 100k, who's, 3 ratings lower, because he has the 5-star skills. Now, the thing that's hurting Rashford a little bit this year is the weak foot. He had 4-star, I believe, last year. Which I can check that. But I'm almost certain he did, Marcus Rashford. He had 4-star weak foot last year. So that's probably hurting him just a little bit at the moment. In terms of his price. If you have 4-star weak foot, I think you'd see a bit more of a higher price. But Mane, 180k. And I just sort of cycle through this and see where demand is. Alan Saint-Maximin, again, 16.5k for a 79 rated card. That means that people like him. People do like him. Now, like I say, what I think happens this year with a lot of these cards is they're going to get hit very heavily, especially the lower rated stuff. Cards that are 79, 80, 81 rated, they're going to get hammered because I think they're going to get packed a lot. And then the sort of decision is when you buy in on them. For me, the buy point's probably going to be Sunday, Monday. I think we've also got squad battle rewards, if I'm not mistaken. That for me is when the buy-in is going to be. Probably into Monday morning, Monday afternoon, depending on the time zones and depending when everyone opens their packs up. But someone like a Saint-Maximin, someone that I'm quite interested in because I'm thinking he's got a lot of demand about him. I don't know what his weak foot is. He's got 5-star, 4-star. Now, he ain't the best finisher in the game, but he's a usable 5-star skiller. And he's not too expensive. So people are building starter squads when the game first comes out. They're going to look to someone like Saint-Maximin to do that. To me, the market's only up into Weekend League, the first Weekend League. That's when the market will continually rise. And so that's where I'd sort of be thinking about selling these cards off. Now, if we look at other positions in the Premier League, if we go position, I don't know, central midfielders for this year, for example, N'Golo Kante, Kevin De Bruyne again, Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, as always, the usual culprits that have a lot of value, like a lot of value. And they're the cards, again, that if you've got a higher budget, you're going to look at those cards. But let's look to the lower end. Someone like a Bernardo Silva, he's holding quite decent value at 18.5. Is he going to get packed massively? He'll get decent supply, he's 86 rated, but he's not going to get spammed like crazy. Realistically, he's not going to get spammed like heavily. But Phil Foden, however, is 84. He's holding 23.3 at the moment. That is a lot of value for him to be holding. Someone there, 84 pace, very usable card this. Really, really usable card. I hate coming up against him. Really hate coming up against him. Again, someone that I like the look of in terms of an investment for buying into and holding. Alan again this year, very usable. We'll have a little look at some of the low-rated stuff. There's sort of this, again, Fred here. Now, he's lower than he was last year at this point, 5.7k. But like I say, the market's really stagnant. I think a lot of people are waiting for those points before they really make their moves on the market. But the lower you get down, you get Musa Sissoko's always in demand. But there's a big but to all this. What we again never have had is that supply of coins that quickly. To me, it means that there's going to be a bit more coins in terms of people being able to build their teams. So those cards that people use as placeholders, like Sissoko, like Saint-Maximin, just be mindful that people might not need to do that as much this year because they're going to go and open packs. Now, is everyone going to hit something incredible? No, they're not. But there's a chance that they're going to get enough to basically build a half-decent starter team compared to a really basic one. But I think there are cards that people are sleeping on, and specifically someone like this Rodrigo card here. He's at 1.3k right now as a 79 rated. Now, is it the most incredible card in the world? No. 86 pace though, 78 shooting. It's a really usable starter player. And he's done at 1.3k. There's a chance that cards like this hit discard. And if a card like this gets close to discard, it's a no-brainer to buy them. You can't really make a loss. Even if it goes down to 800, 900k, is someone like a Rodrigo worth the punt? For sure. 100% worth the punt. Because you're not going to risk too many coins either way. Don't go and buy all the same card either way. But he's one of those cards that's more than usable as a striker early game. Because if you look at the Premier League, in terms of strikers, you got centre-forwards as well, but when it wants to load them, is it going to load them up? There we go. How many ridiculously usable strikers are there? You've got a Vardy, without a doubt, 15k, not a bad card. Aubameyang. And then when you come down towards the lower tiers, there's not masses. You've got Richarlison, again, pacey, very similar to sort of Rodrigo, just a bit slower. 5-star weak foot, though. Gabriel Jesus, again, quite a similar card, but a bit less pace, bit more shooting. And then do you see what I mean here? There isn't that many cards that you sort of go, right, that's definitely going to fit the sort of meta that maybe Rodrigo fits in terms of extremely, extremely cheap, but still infinitely usable. There aren't that many cards that do that. Again, an Ollie Watkins, 85 pace, 75 shooting, but nearly at discard already. Can you really go wrong on a card like Ollie Watkins? I doubt it, in my opinion. I very much doubt it. And so, yeah, this is what I would be looking at. Now, don't just look at the Premier League and don't just look at the cards that I've shown you here, because if you all go and buy those cards together, you're going to mess each other up when it comes to selling them. But I would be looking towards the real lower end and cards that might reach discard. I think you'd do very well on that. But you can run sort of similarities between last year and this year. Just compare the players that were in each league. Compare what was there. One league that I think has been slept on a little bit so far is Ligue 1. And you've got a lot of very good cards in that league this year. But Ligue 1's very good. Serie A's very, very strong. There's a lot of very, 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 very good cards to be looking at. But that's how you go and do it. But if you're new around here, subscribe down below. Like the video, comment on the video, all that awesome stuff. But for now, I'm out. Peace out. I'll speak to you soon.